What is good, everybody? It's Ross, and we are back with another video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. So I wanted to show you guys this video that deeply disturbed me for some weird reason. This video, I saw this on Twitter last week, and it was this guy called Mike Moshpit. I don't know who this guy is, to be honest, but it sounds like he has a fan base, and a lot of people might know him. So anyway, I'm just gonna show the video, and then I'll talk why this video kind of disturbs me.
I be struggle when you pay off. I know I see my way, you know when the days are. I say we go I be struggle when you pay off. I know
We'll play it one more time. We'll play it one more time.
I see my way, you know when the days are. I say we go
So this video, I mean, there's so many things happening in this video. This guy is rapping. It seems like he's in the moment, pouring his heart out, telling his story. You got these two white boys here playing chess on a mini chessboard in front of him, maybe trying to get his attention. Definitely not connecting with them. They're definitely distracting people around them, and this is all for TikTok content, essentially. And so I saw this tweet that quote retweeted this part of what No Name was talking about. When you release your art and do shows, you basically have no choice but to contribute to an ecosystem where white kids think black expression is mere fodder, and therefore create their own fodder around it. And I really kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but I envision like a dystopian future where, like in the futuristic movies, and it's like the artists, they're performing in a void. They are performing in front of a void, giving his or her life to the music, while the audience is just completely disconnected from the meaning, just no connection at all, and it felt like he was being treated as background content. And of course, on face value, or at face value, I don't know if I'm saying that right, this is just two guys being disrespectful. It's not a huge deal. I'm not like triggered by this per se in that sense. I'm kind of looking at the future here. Like, what does hip hop look like in 20 to 30 to 40 years? That's what made me think. What does this mean for black artists? What does it mean for black people, period? 40, 50 years in the future. And, you look at these venues, you go to all these festivals, it's a sea of everyone but black people there. We always say hip hop is culture, black culture. We're proud of it. We built it. But how do we continue to build something we can't even afford to participate in? Because that's what's happening. It's almost like hip hop is being gentrified in every single space. We have black artists that come from where they come from, and the people that supported this artist, because that's the thing, like, we have to understand that all of your favorite black artists, they receive their clout, their support at the shows, their first follower, they received it from their friends and family. Depending on where you live, majority of that is going to be black people. Once that person gets popular enough, of course, it's going to go wider, and the white audience is going to rock with them, and everyone else is going to rock with them. That's just how it is. But it's always the people, like, it's always the community that supports them first. And it's just kind of sad to think about a future where we're not able to be in these spaces. We're not able to really celebrate these artists like we could. This video is not to, exclude people. I want to try to create a conversation to really think about this and use this video as a jump off, right? But we're not at these shows. Yeah, I'm not talking about streaming numbers. I'm talking physical presence, being in the room, showing up, being part of the moment. We're not there. That says something. That says a lot. This says a lot. That video says a lot. And, going and seeing just the average attendees to the Rolling Loud concerts. This whole thing is political. This whole thing obviously is political when you get down to it. We already know the racial wealth gap is insane. The median wealth for white households is around 188K. Median wealth for black households is 24,000. That's 7 times difference. We shouldn't even call it the racial wealth gap. It should be called like the racial wealth canyon, honestly. And it's only getting crazier. Trump's out here slashing federal work protections, slashing public programs, gut federal job security. All that trickles down. All of it trickles down. So with that, what does that mean? What does that mean? Less stability, less income, less time, less freedom to support a culture that we created. We can't even truly bear the fruits of those efforts. What are the prices of Rolling Loud tickets, y'all? What is it, like $500, $600? You might as well sell a kidney. It makes sense that the folks who should be front row aren't front row. We're not there. I really just wanted to bring that in there. Let's go back to this one image of this guy, Mike Moshpit, performing, and the audience is casually playing games in front of him. And I get that not everybody has to deeply connect with every artist, at these shows. But if you're gonna stand front row at my show, I want people to feel me. People who see me, people who relate to me, I want those people there in the front row. Let's be real. Most of those people I feel are gonna look like me. Not all, of course. A good amount of black folks are the biggest consumers of hip hop. And you'd think we'd see more of us in these crowds, but we don't. And that's like, it really is. It's heartbreaking. So this video really kind of brought that out to me. And then it makes me think about, like, what about independent artists, like the ones without label backing, without tour support. That grind is already brutal. They got to fund the shows, do the promo, sell the tickets. And most times it's our own communities they're counting on, especially in the beginning. It's our friends and family. But if we can't even afford to show up, what happens then? I feel like that's a huge part of the reason why I've pivoted to YouTube. Being a music artist today is just so much more difficult. You got to be an artist plus content creator plus strategist, designer plus entrepreneur. Just being an artist is not enough, anymore. I mean, honestly, whenever I do shows, especially if it's back-to-back shows, and as an independent artist, you're reaching out to your friends. Let's say you just had a show last month and your tickets were $15, $20. Now tickets are going up. Even for regular independent artists to even get booked on a show, these venues want us to sell $30 tickets, and then it doesn't even include the 2% online ticket fee. So anyway, let's say you're having shows back to back every other week, reaching out to friends. I remember a lot of those friends I kind of was feeling sorry for, because they're like, yeah, I want to support you, but I can't, this and that, I'm working, or I just don't have the money to do it. It's tough. It's all tough. And of course, the silver lining and all that is, because I made these transitions, I've been able to grow as an artist. I've been able to find new talents that I did not know I could do. Video editing, community building, script writing, all these things that it's pushed me to do. So it's great. It's great in that sense. But I'm concerned about the future in that way. Who's really in the room? Who gets to support? Who gets to benefit? Then this culture we built could just slip further and further away from us. And I don't want to gatekeep too much. I don't want to make this sound like a gatekeeping, even though I do believe in gatekeeping in a lot of different spaces. But when it comes to hip hop, I think maybe the word I'm thinking of is preserve. Really, how can we preserve this space? How can we ensure that, that we can be at these shows and support these artists? So I know that that's a deep question. This whole conversation might be kind of bleak, but I feel like it's a real one that we should think about and talk about, with our friends and family. This just one video with all those kids playing chess, I feel is just a snapshot of a bigger issue. I think the main thing I was trying to say was I want our people to be able to enjoy our art, whether it's to be able to perform it or consume it. I want us to be able to go to these shows and just as much as our peers. I think that's the main point. This video just triggered me to think about that, 40, 50 years in the future. you know, and I don't know how much this guy's ticket was. It looks like a small club venue, you know, but I just think about the bigger picture here, you know, as a black artist, and it's a sea of white people and that, like, you know, I don't have a problem with that per se, but to know, like, especially in hip hop, and to know like a large part of my fan base is not just white people, then I'm gonna be like thinking like, damn, like what can I do? You know, I didn't want to make this too bleak, but if you guys, you know, like this kind of content, this kind of dialogue, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Anyway, I will catch y'all later. Peace.